there, I'm Heather Gill with EXP Realty, and in this episode of People to Know with Heather Gill, the tables have turned. And today I am so honored to have a guest host, Kelli Christina, who's the CEO of Katie Staffing. She's interviewing me. Oh my goodness. I can't wait for this. It's going to be great.
Heather, I absolutely love this, and changing up roles is fantastic. And I just want to reassure you that I've been running job interviews for 20 years, and I think I can run this interview. So let's try it, okay?
I have full faith in you. Full faith. Absolutely. No question is off the table. Let's get going. What you got for me?
So, Heather, I would love to hear a little bit more about your life and your career background. What have you done out there?
Okay. Well, don't hold this against me, but I am an Oklahoma girl. I grew up there, but I've been in Texas for like 20 plus years. So Texas is my home. I consider myself a Texan now, and absolutely love being in DFW. I've had, a couple of different job careers through my life so far, but most meaningful to me was working as a software trainer. Working as a software trainer in the elder care continuum and helping nurses and nursing staff understand how to put in their resident information, keep up with their residents, and make sure that those people were well taken care of. I love that. I did that for several years. And then I've had other jobs where I've done software training, leading people through a process and helping them understand how to get from point A to point B.
Okay, and I love that. So you wear a lot of hats out there, I've noticed over the last couple of months of getting to know you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, Heather, you started out just kind of racing out of the gates this year with your podcasting series. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit, what's the general message? Like, what are you trying to, what do you want your listeners to hear out there?
Right, absolutely. So we have a YouTube channel right now. We eventually will have all the audio ripped out, pulled out of it, right, and put into a podcast version. But I do have a hand in something called Texas Eldercare, which stems quite a bit from that background and several years of working with the nursing home staff and in that elder care continuum, if you will. So I got together with several partners early this year. I'm going to restart this because I want to say it a little bit differently. So I got this idea at the beginning of 2021, just related to questions around the elder care continuum. I've got my grandmother's like 94, I think. And
wow.
Sharp as a tack and tough lady, super sweet. But she's had some medical things and the family's had to do certain things and kind of help her through and get her through and get some questions answered as we've moved forward with that. And I've got dear friends locally that have had, things happen with their parents and their grandparents. And they're like, what do we do now? We don't know the next step. We don't know how to answer this question. So, 2020 happened and all that unique year and all those challenges. Well, 2021 rolled over and I'm like, well, what could I do to maybe help bridge the gap here? How can I answer some questions? How can I help people that are kind of in this stage of life? Because we all know people that are older than us and people that are at that stage of life where, they might be looking at a nursing home. They might be looking at assisted living. They might be looking at palliative care, some kind of step beyond just being in their home. Or perhaps they're just at home and they want to stay there and remain and retain their dignity and retain their mobility and retain that just independence. But what do they do next, right? When life happens to them and yeah.
And I don't want to interrupt, but this is a very hot topic, what you're bringing up, and it always does interest me with 20 years working in the medical industry.
Right.
You brought up the terminology palliative care. Well, actually, our palliative care in the medical industry was born about year 2006. And I started to learn as a staffing company and a recruiter more about palliative care. And we started growing, I would say, between 2007 and 2010 2010, it started going like wildfire.
Yeah.
Well, it's a new segment, palliative care, of course, for more of our chronic illnesses, and it was born out of hospice care. And, we're at the age, or Heather, I'm 51, so I have a very large network suffering the worries of our older age population again. So keep going. This is awesome information.
No, for sure. And thanks for pausing there for a second and jumping in. So again, with the unique year we had in 2020 and then fast forwarding to 2021, it's like, okay, well, how can I play a part in this? How can I help my community and provide some value? And again, kind of just help people find the answers to the questions that they're looking for. So I got with some folks I know in different industries who could speak to that segment, because it's like a diamond. You put it up to the light and it's multifaceted, right? And you see all these colors. This particular, when we age, that's kind of how it is. Like, you might not ever go to a nursing home. You might need hospice though, or you might not ever even need any of that. But then maybe you need help with how to sell your house, or maybe, that issue about wills or probates or trust, or, oh my goodness, grandpa has Alzheimer's and we just need a good plan on how to talk with him and help him and reduce some of his anxiety, reduce some of our anxiety. There's so many of these things, right? You just don't think about it until you're in the middle of it. And so
right.
that's
not
really
enough.
That's
not
really
enough
what
people
Texas elder care.
Well, would it be safe to say not enough people are pre-planning for their elderly parents or their elderly family until it's a little bit like on crisis mode, right? Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. How many people my age have their wills and trusts and all that stuff even written? I mean, seriously, we just don't think about the end of life until we get closer to it, right? It's just, why would we think about it? Things are good. We feel good. Life is great. Why would I consider that? It just, we just don't think about it. But just getting to that point in life where we can pause for a minute. And then this is, of course, pre-planning, but thinking a little bit ahead can save such heartache, as you move forward in life, because things happen and it's not a bad idea to be prepared in my mind.
I agree with you. I'm 51. My son does not want to hear about the will, but you know what? It's called smart planning. And if you don't plan,
right.
And nobody's, we're not planning to leave the world or anything like that. It's called smart planning, so that we can take care of our families in the future, And Heather, I love what your Texas elder care or elder care segment, because it's such a hot topic, especially, we had so many worries. My parents are very healthy in their early 70s, but how many of us all had so many worries last year with the pandemic and with the COVID going on, and how many of our elder did we lose?
Yeah.
And the problem is that the age in this country and the statistics have shifted, and we do have a larger percentage of elderly care. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's I feel like it's just a timely subject, and I feel like it's worth talking about. And I feel like we owe it to the generation above us to do it. We owe it to them because, my parents are getting up there in age. And as I mentioned, my grandmother, who's 94, I mean, I want to make sure that if nothing else, I know what I need to know for them in the case that we need to be prepared for something, or we need to make a decision about something. So absolutely. I mean, and that's the whole purpose of this channel, this Facebook. So there's a Facebook group called Texas Elder Care. There's a YouTube channel. We're still building out a few things. As I mentioned, there will be a podcast that'll be associated. And the idea is we have our key contributors. We're going to have guest contributors also. And it's really there to be a resource for our community. So they can go to Facebook and just look at the guides and see, oh, that's what a reverse mortgage is. Or, oh, that's what this is. Oh, that's how I can, there's a professional who can help me with that will, whatever it might be.
Didn't you tell me, Heather, sometime when we were sitting down that you're going to bring an attorney on the show too that can help talk through the will planning and the estate planning, and it's the little we don't want to do it, but you do want to prepare early.
Yeah.
Did you tell me that? I think you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jenna Zabrowski is our key contributor for that, and this lady, she's got it down. She's super smart and like sharp. She's very sharp and she's very personable. So yeah, she's done several segments with us about that very thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and what else do we've got? I love this topic, Heather. I know that you've got future podcasts. I look forward to possibly guesting on those, but
Sure.
major hot topic. I think
Right.
you and I even talked about one time that something that, the general public, whether you're, poor, middle class, or rich, what they don't always know is that, if you do have a family member that gets very sick or
Yeah.
older, needs family care, a lot of individuals aren't even aware that there is, some type of government funding for the
Right.
family member that has to take care, because you still have to pay your bills.
Right. Right.
Now, we don't need to encourage anybody else to take government money right now, but that is a knock that I use
Yeah.
because a lot of people aren't aware of that.
No, that's a brilliant observation. And yeah, I mean, outside of Medicare and Medicaid benefits that are there, yeah, those kind of things where you can actually get paid by the government to help care for those elderly folks in your life, that's something that some people really do need. And it's there to be a resource if they need it. So yeah, absolutely.
Something we try to encourage from the medical industry perspective is there is a lot more and they're easier to get, but the caretaking type jobs out there,
Yeah. Yeah.
there is a very short, learning or certification stage period versus like years of nursing.
Yeah.
But I know that our younger generation, Heather, is starting to look at, oh my gosh, maybe I'll do a caretaking job,
Yeah.
and then it pays pretty well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's always a need for CNAs and people that can do the in-home non-medical care. And yeah, you can get paid pretty decent to do those kind of jobs. And it can be as simple as just hanging out, helping them do their laundry, helping them fix a meal, taking them to the library, taking them to appointments. I mean, there's a very big need for that right now in our society.
Yes, ma'am, there is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to your future and upcoming podcast and some more about not just, well, we say Texas elder care because we're in Texas, but we're actually talking about elder care across the nation. You know what I mean? From state to state. Okay. Are you ready for your fun question?
Yes. Lay it on me.
Okay. So, Heather, now that the Texas market is opening up,
Okay.
what do you do for local fun?
Okay.
Or for if you can't afford a vacation or you don't have time for a vacation,
Okay.
do you plan any type of staycations?
Right.
What do you got for fun? Go ahead.
I did. I just got back from Arizona it was a personal development business type of trip that was way fun. So even though I was kind of working and playing at the same time, I had a blast and it was nice to kind of get out of town for a little bit. But locally, I love live music. And that's one thing I missed the most last year is that we just couldn't go hear live music like we used to. And that makes my soul sing. So anytime I can be around live music, maybe trying some unique food or just a new experience of some sort, I dig that. So I don't have to I'm not an expensive date. Like I don't need to go spend tons of money, but I love to do something different and just to kind of have new experiences. So that can look like a lot of things.
I love that answer. And I was just curious, because sometimes people don't think about those out of box fun things you can do locally. And I just started a game in Texas where we think about what we haven't done in 10 or 20 years. And then we make an afternoon or a night and we try it.
Nice. That's a great idea. I love it.
Heather, I'm so happy to have this beautiful connection, and I look forward to future podcasts where we talk about such a hot topic, elder care, our parents, our families, people aging, and how do we take care of them?
Absolutely. So if I may, just real quick, y'all know me. This is my show, but I'm so appreciative of Kelli being my guest host today. Y'all can reach me at the number or the email below. And if you're wanting to find out more just about Heather Gill Realtor, I am local. I'm in Carrollton. I work in the DFW area with buying, selling, investing in real estate. And you can find me on Facebook and on YouTube. So YouTube, I have Places to Go with Heather Gill, which is where this show airs. I have the Texas Elder Care channel as well. And then on Facebook, you can find me at Heather Gill Realtor or at Texas Eldercare Group.
That's a lot of information, and you wear a lot of hats. Heather, have a beautiful week, and I'm just so grateful that we have this connection, and we'll be back together soon.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, awesome. That was perfect.
That turned out